Hello, I'm Amanda. Welcome to this short update on my seed compost experiment. So if you were watching a few weeks ago at the beginning of April, I kicked off my experiment into seed compost. So I asked the question, seed compost, is it a thing? And what I mean by that is lots of the companies out there, the compost makers, have special seed mixes which claim to be better for growing your seeds in, obviously. Better germination rates, stronger plants, all of that. And of course, because they're special mixes, they're that little bit more expensive. And I guess, I'm sure I'm not the only one, like a lot of keen gardeners, I've often wondered, is it really a thing? Like, is it kind of a marketing ploy? Do they offer any benefits? So I started off with sowing some courgette seeds, and I chose 4 different compost mixes, 2 of which are special seed mixes. And I will put a link to the video, the original video, in the description, because I talk through each of the compost types. And then after that, I had quite a good response to that video, and people then asked me, well, what about the size of the seed? Because obviously courgette seeds are really big. You know, would a smaller seed perhaps show a different result? I thought, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. So I then sowed some mizuna seeds. So that's a type of kind of Oriental salad mix. They're very small seeds. And since then, obviously I've not given you an update, and the reason for that is while the mizuna germinated really quickly, I've been holding on for my courgette seeds because courgette seeds need a lot of warmth and light to germinate, and I live in the UK, so it just took me that little bit longer. So today I can actually give you the first results. I think they are showing a trend. It's quite interesting. Watch along with me. Let me know what you think. To start off with, I'd like to show you my courgette seeds. Now, yeah, it looks like a whole load of nothing, but it isn't, because, hang on, look at that. That there is the first seed to germinate. And not only that, but none of the other seeds germinated yet. So there is a compost that's giving me a quicker germination rate, because I sowed 3 courgette seeds in each of these pots in the different compost. So there's 3 chances in each pot. And yeah, only 1 so far has germinated. And which one is that? It's the coir mix with the enriched seaweed. So that is a special seed mix. And yeah, that seems to be preferred by the courgettes. Now, in a way, that doesn't surprise me, because courgettes are very, very, very hungry plants. And I think all fruiting vegetables are, in a way, you know, courgettes, tomatoes, and so on. So they need a lot of goodness, I think, to get going. And so the fact that the coir mix has shown this promising start doesn't surprise me. That was my big reveal. That's so underwhelming, but I can't tell you how happy I was to see that this morning, because those courgette seeds have really taken quite a long time to germinate. Of course, it's not that surprising. They're used to a Mediterranean climate, and it's the UK, and probably they haven't had the warmth and light that they need. Now, thankfully, my mizuna seeds, there's a lot more to talk about, because mizuna is a very, very, very hardy plant. You can actually grow it in the UK in the autumn and even into the winter. And the good news there is that means I've got loads to talk about. And although they've all actually germinated, and you could say, well, there doesn't seem to be much difference there, because I'm growing them side by side, I can actually see subtle differences in how happy the plants are, which give me a real clue into which mix is best for them. So let me show you. As promised, and thank you for sticking around, yeah, there's a lot more to talk about here. The first thing to say that I noticed with the mizuna, and I planted exactly the same number of seeds in each container. So I think the first check to do is, well, how many of these seeds have germinated in each pot? So the ericaceous mix, the Dalefoot, and the Rocket Grow special seed compost, I have 4 plants. There is a little one there. You can hardly see it, but it's there. And then on this side, the coir mix, I've got 5 plants. So The coir seems to be coming out on top in terms of germination, which is interesting. So that's why I'm thinking it might be a bit of a front runner there. And I don't know what that is. Let me take that out. So then I thought, let's have a look at the just how happy the plants look, because I can actually see, I don't know how well it comes out on the video, but I can see that some of these plants look happier than other plants in terms of like the colour on the leaves and things like that. So if I show you, for example, let me just put the ericaceous mix next to the coir. And this is a red mizuna plant, right? So I want the leaves to be lovely and red. There's a difference there. I don't think those plants in the ericaceous mix are happy at all. And I would expect that. I would absolutely expect that, because ericaceous is a very special sort of compost, which is meant, as I say, for things like blueberries. So fair enough, really. But yeah, that shows you that maybe ericaceous compost, maybe it's best left for just those acid-loving plants. So I think that's probably performed the worst in terms of, I don't think those plants look healthy. And then moving on, if I look at the Dalefoot, again, this isn't a seed compost. This is just a normal compost. They do have a special seed compost, which I haven't tried, so, might give completely different results. Again, so this is red mizuna. This is a very green leaf. I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but it is looking quite green if I compare it. Yeah. So I don't think those plants in the Dalefoot normal compost are as happy as the plants in the coir mix. And finally, if I bring the two seed mixes close together, there's not a lot of difference here in the colour. I do think the coir might still be that little bit darker red. And obviously we've seen that it's germinated better. So from this experiment, I think that the mizuna seeds are again preferring the coir mix. And I think this seems to be the front runner. Of course, it will be interesting to see how the plants continue to grow. But in terms of getting them off to a good start, it looks like the coir mix is worth that extra expense. Here then is a quick reminder about this seed compost, which seems to be doing the best so far. So it's a bit different to your normal compost bags, and it comes in this brick, which is completely dry. And what you do is you add it into the bag provided, and then you pour in the amount of water, and then it will expand to 10 litres. Now, I think it's really cool the way it comes in these dehydrated bricks, just because it means I'm not having to lug lots of heavy compost bags back and forth. I don't know about you, but at this time of year, I seem to spend a lot of time doing that. So that's really good. And yeah, if you've got like a bad back or something, it's perfect, isn't it? The only downside I can see with this compost mix is I'm sure it's the most expensive per volume of all the options. So for example, the other seed mix that I have is the Rocket Grow, and that is a 20 litre bag. So I'm getting twice as much volume, but I definitely didn't pay, it's not reflected in the cost there. So yeah, I think this is the most expensive option, but if it's giving the best germination, perhaps it's worth it, especially maybe for those really hungry plants like the courgettes, tomatoes and so on. There we are then, that's my mini update on my seed compost experiment. I can't tell you how much fun I'm finding it. And I really hope you're enjoying watching it too. I do feel like I'm learning a lot. There's something you learn about, having the seeds alongside each other as they grow. You can really make direct comparison, or at least with the mizuna plants. I mean, let's be honest, it's too soon to draw any conclusions with my courgette plants, because I planted 12 seeds and only one of those seeds has germinated so far. So I will keep you updated and showing you how they grow, the courgettes. And hopefully there'll be a bit more to show you next time. I don't know if I want 12 plants though. I don't think my garden's big enough for 12 courgette plants. So anyone knows me, watch out. I might be giving you some courgette plants in the near future. My mizuna seeds, I do think we're seeing trends there. It does look like the seeds are preferring those special seed mixes. I would, however, say, obviously those seed mixes are that little bit more expensive, but all of the seeds, they germinated in whatever compost I put them in, right? So if I don't want people to get too hung up on this. I think you can use whatever you have to hand and you will still get plants. It's just that some mixes just give you that little bit of a better result than maybe others. So there you are. Let me know if you're enjoying this experiment too, and what your thoughts are on it, and what you see at home and so on. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, until next time.